We're going to talk about more paint schemes. That's right. We're here to talk about more NASCAR paint schemes that they're going to be running this year. We already did a good chunk of them a couple of weeks ago. Some primaries, when I say primaries, I mean like it's going to be their primary for the majority of the season. Well, we've gotten some more. We're just a couple of days away from the season, actually. The Busch Clash on Sunday. I said in my community post thing, that's the schedule for this weekend. Obviously, if something happens, newsworthy, something, it could push the schedule around. Things may happen. I may move things around. If I do, I'll let you know. But let's look at some paint schemes. A few less than last time, but still, we're going to look at some paint schemes, some quite interesting ones. And this first one, it's like Dana White. He's like the not WWE, the UFC. I think he's like the CEO, or he runs the UFC, the boxing, all that. Not boxing, the fighting, all that stuff. And his company, Kentucky Banana Bourbon, is sponsoring Ross Chastain and Trackhouse Racing. And this is quite the car. I tell you what, I didn't know what this sponsor was going to be when I first saw it, because I saw that monkey, and the first thing I thought of was that those NFTs with like the monkeys. That's a whole other thing. But anyways, honestly, it's not too bad. It's not just like a plain red all around the car. They got some different shades of red. They got some different kind of patterns going on. They got that logo with the monkey, the howler head monkey spirit. They got all the yellow going on at the bottom of the car. They got some yellow. They got the bottle on the back of the car. They got the Kentucky Banana Bourbon going across the back of the car. The one looks cool with the Trackhouse, kind of style, but then also the gold, kind of yellowish look. Logo is nice and big on the hood. You got a yellow kind of stripe going across the front of the car. Overall, a pretty solid, nice car. Nothing, too special. Not an automatic legendary car, but honestly, a pretty solid looking car. 8.5 out of 10. I really like it. It looks good. Thought they did a really good job with the logo. Thought they did a good job putting the bottle at the back of the car. Good job, Trackhouse. Next up, this one's colorful. Brad Keselowski. He's now in the 6th car for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, RFK. And this one, honestly, it's not too bad. I really like the color. This violet purple look. I think it looks really good. Purple race cars usually look good, and this is another one. Though I will say they're bringing chrome numbers back to NASCAR, which is cool, but I don't think the use of chrome was needed here. Maybe it looks better on the track, but everything else looks so, finished. I don't know how else to say it, with the purple and the way it's kind of looks, the color, the paint, the texture, whatever. And then you have the chrome number, and I feel like it just kind of looks a little bit out of place. But overall, I really like the way the colors clash with the neon yellow, the violet, the black, even a little bit of white and gray in there. I like the flow of it, the flow going kind of those stripy thingies going from the front wheel all the way up to the C-post. You got some of those black little lines when it goes from the back to the front. And I thought they used up the space decently, But with the space that they didn't use for sponsors, they used for colorful patterns, which is really cool. I really like the purple. The purple, the color alone is like a 9. I like the combo colors, which is really nice. But I will say it is kind of weird with the chrome number. I don't know how I feel about the chrome number, but we'll give it an 8 out of 10. On to the next one. Tyler Reddick's Cheddar's paint scheme. It's the same as last year with the croissants and the white and the orange and the black. They just moved the Cheddar's logo up and the number up. I would have liked to see some more creativity, but you be you. 7 out of 10. Next up is a new paint scheme, and honestly, this is the best one that Hooters has put out for Chase Elliott. They used to have the black and orange car over the past couple of years. They've had white ones before, but they've never had one with blue. They had like the Hooters Spirits or Hooters Wine or something with blue a couple of years ago, but They've never had a primary have blue, and honestly, it fits in pretty well. Now, I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, so I really like blue and orange together because, you know, my team wears that all the time, so maybe I'm biased in that part, but I think it looks well. It doesn't look too forced. It kind of makes the orange pop a little bit more, if you ask me. The way they do the shading, it's around the 9. They don't make the 9 blue like with the Lumar, which I still hate, by the way. It fits well, it clashes well, and they use up the space really well. They still have the Hooters go across the back of the car with the logo, and then they use the owl in the open space on the door that is now available. Great job by them using up that space, using another one of their logos. Really good job with the color. Really good job with the number, kind of the pattern of it. I think this is a solid looking car. The car number is what it is. It's a 9 out of 10. Probably the best Hooter scheme. I think the 2018 one, I think that was it. The first 9 scheme, I think that one is a contender for the best one. I thought the black and orange one was nice too, but that one was always overrated to me. Anyways, the next one, this is another great one. Like, I've trashed the number placement a lot, but some of these teams are actually doing quite well with the new number placement, and this is one of them. Ryan Blaney, Worth. Now, Worth has been with the 2 car in the past, and Brad Keselowski. They've done some different things with that paint scheme. They used to do the boring, generic Penske scheme, but then they moved to their own thing. They did like the front third was white, the middle third was black, and the back third was red. And it's kind of a similar thing, but it's not super like sharp cut. They used to do it like sharp cuts. Now it's more of like a transition almost from the white into the black into the red. You got some stripes, some lines going through to kind of show it going from white to black to red. You use that Worth logo nice and big, put it on the side of the car. I mean, it's simple, yet it looks really, really good, and it makes sense. It's not random. It's not all over the place. It's nice. It's clean. I really, really like it. 9 point, just a 9 actually. Let's just give it a 9. So back-to-back 9s. We're doing really good here. Another great paint scheme by Team Penske for Ryan Blaney here. This one it's amazing. They use up the space amazingly with the Advanced logo. They kind of angle it a bit so it fits on the door and the back of the car. You got the little checkered flag from the Advanced logo. It's a black car. They used to do red and yellow. Now they're doing black and yellow. They did that for like 1 or 2 races last year. And also my favorite part of this paint scheme is that they, on the hood of the car, it's a checker pattern. It's a checkered flag pattern, and it looks epic. I love it. They use up the space well, which is a lot of points in my book. They got a checkered flag on the hood. The sponsor looks fine, and they don't do too crazy. It's like so simple, yet so amazing. The yellow and red stripes at the bottom look good. This car looks really good. 9.5 out of 10. We got some good-looking race cars this year. Let's see what the next one is. The next one's another good-looking one. M&M's in their last year in the Cup Series. They use their normal paint scheme, but they do something different. They use the characters that they have in their commercials and stuff. They put them on the side of the car, and usually they force them all in kind of the back on the quarter panel. But now they're actually using them across the whole car since the number moved up. They got the 18 up on front, but they got the red character right there on the door. Then you got the green one kind of near the wheel, and then you got the orange one at the back. It looks good. M&M's is colorful. It's creative. You got the characters you can use. You don't need to put a bunch of sponsors on top of it when you've already got some iconic known dudes from commercials. So I thought they did a really good job with this one. 8.1 out of 10 at the least. Yeah, we'll go with that. M&M's, always great paint schemes. Here's a bad one. All right, I'll say this one is pretty boring. Joey Logano and Pennzoil, they have always had the same paint scheme since he arrived at Team Penske in 2013. With the next-gen car, I was like, oh, maybe they'll change it up. Maybe they'll get rid of the red stripes and they'll completely do something different. They did something a little bit different, but this literally looks like a test car. This looks like something you would see at a test. It's boring. No creativity. There's barely any red other than the number. This is a terrible looking car. It's boring. It's awful. I don't want to see this on track. I don't. This better be like a prank. They better have like a real one behind the door. 22, I think that helps the rating here. It's a 2.2 out of 10. Boring, not creative, bad. Next up, we got a colorful one. The 50, the Money Team Racing Casgrala, that car. I didn't rate it when we talked about the news announcement the other day, but I don't know how to rate this. You got purple, you got pink, you got red, you got orange, you got yellow, you got teal, you got blue, you got some white. Like, it looks like someone just got a paintbrush with white and just like slapped it around. They waved it around and just hit the car. But then like the font for the number is super boring and it's just a white number. It's somewhere in there. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's somewhere in there. I genuinely do not know how to rate this car. I can't tell if it's good. I can't tell if it's bad. I don't know what I think of this car. For the first time in the, 2-3 years I've been doing paint scheme previews or paint scheme ratings, I don't know how to rate a car. I don't know. We'll go with a question mark on this one. You tell me. I don't know. Next up, Bubba Wallace Doordash. I like that they use all 3 of the colors. Last year they were so heavily on the red, which, that's Doordash's color. And then they tried to use the black and white, and it was still a really good looking car, but it's just like they were trying to use it. I don't know. But this year they were able to use all 3 colors, it seemed like. You got the white on the hood, the red on the back side of the car. You got some black down at the corner with the McDonald's and the Dr. Pepper logo. And as it was last year, the number is black still. So those colors always usually clash good together. It's a decent looking race car. It does seem a bit empty if you ask me. They moved the Doordash logo up a bit. They could have made the words Doordash a little bit bigger, in my opinion. The Doordash logo looks good where it is. Colors clash well. The pattern seems a little bit weird if you ask me. But it's decent. Not bad. 7.5 out of 10. Definitely better than that Joey Logano one. Next up, William Byron, 24. Yeah. I really don't know where to go with this one. The Valvoline logo, they make it really big, which good for them, but the thing is, they had all that space to the left, but instead of moving it over to the left and potentially extending it, they made it taller to where it got cut off, and the L doesn't look like an L. It looks like it says Valvo Eeen or Ieen. How do you mess that up? I mean, you could have used that space. The pattern is kind of random. I get that they're using Valvoline colors, but could you have had any less of a random pattern than the iconic 24? I'm just disappointed with how they used the Valvoline, and then the pattern is just extremely random. 5 out of 10, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. Next up, Custer in the Haas tooling. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. They use the same kind of base paint scheme they've used over the past couple of years with him, but they actually did a good job at using up the space. They moved the number up, and that little tool, the Haas, for the Haas tooling, they put it right next to the number. It takes up a good amount of space. They kind of cut with that red line, they kind of go down and they block off the area so that they were able to put Haas, Autodesk, and Production Alliance Group down there. And then across the back it says HaasTooling.com. They used up that space pretty well if you ask me. It looks pretty good. It makes sense. Those colors look pretty good together, kind of the silver grayish, the black and the red. They used the logo well. It's an 8 out of 10. It's not bad, and it's honestly pretty good. I look forward to seeing this car on track. Next up is an absolute fireball that looks so freaking good. They used this base paint scheme last year. There are some paint schemes, I feel like I've said this like 20 times in 2 videos I made about paint schemes, but there are some paint schemes that transferred from 2020 or whatever year that they did the All-Star race. They just transferred the same paint scheme to the new number placement paint scheme, and it looked awful. It looked terrible. It was ugly. It made me want to throw up. And I thought we were going to have that same problem this year. Well, this one proves me wrong. This is the same base paint scheme they used for the sponsor last year with Brad Keselowski, and now they're using it again with Austin Cindric. It looks amazing. I really hope it gets used in a night race. In fact, I think it's being used at the Clash, so it might be. This car looks absolutely amazing. It looks like something from Tron. The blue and the black look epic. The shininess of it looks epic. The silver logo of the Cascadia, I probably pronounced that wrong. It looks epic. Sure, there's a little bit of empty space down there, which usually I would complain about, but that blue pops. The blue looks epic. It's a kind of a neat looking pattern going on here. The 2 is nice and normal. They don't try to make it super neon-y or anything. It's just a white number. But the black, the white, and the blue all look great together. Solid looking car. It's an 8.8 out of 10. And that's it. That is all the paint schemes we have today. Yeah. I don't know if I'll do another one of those. I might not. I haven't determined yet. I'm still figuring that out. But as for this weekend, I think I said tomorrow I'd do some video on the Coliseum race. I'll do like a preview, what you need to know, something like that. Saturday during first practice, I'm looking to do a live stream during practice, like a reaction kind of thing to the first laps at the LA Coliseum. And then Sunday's the race, which I'm looking forward to. So NASCAR's back. I'm happy.